Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Now I'm on here in the DC camp, the Great Millstone. Back for another video. And in this one, we're going to talk about why are these billionaires dumping all these stocks? Huge amounts of stocks. But first and foremost, call halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kadash. Once again, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Let me see, adjust my volume. There you go. I'd like to also send out salutations to the fellow Akim that are out there on the highways and byways, also pushing this truth across four corners of the earth, while time permits us to do so. All right, all kinds of stuff going on. It is Sunday, the 3rd of November, 22 or 10:30. All right. So you got what? Another day and a wake up before this shit. All right. So this damn election. But anyway, here it goes. This is, of course, Dabu 77. Let's see. What I'm going to do here. Hold on. Go ahead and get this out of the way. Let's see. Hold on. The hell? Hold on. Oops. Didn't mean to move that. All right. Hold on just a second. Let's see. Here we go. Let's get this out the way. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research, which, of course, is what I'm doing. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Because, of course, I'm not profiting off of this, nor do I intend to or seek to. All right, just for educational purposes only. All right. So we're going to go ahead and go into the video here. Hey, all of you are going to remember, once again, like we've said, a lot of videos here in the last, actually, a few years now, the scoffers aren't scoffing so hard anymore. I wonder why. So let's go ahead and roll the video.
What's going on, guys? Here, just a couple days before election, over the weekend, of course, they're dropping information about the markets. Big time information here. We have some of the world's richest men dumping their stocks en masse. I've been warning about this. These are the things that you always want to watch for before there's a massive dump in the market. First thing you're going to see are the big dogs out there making moves first, because they've got the insider information. Yep. They're going to call the top, basically, and that's what Warren Buffett has just done. He just liquidated over 70% of his Apple stocks and shares. This is on top of what he's been doing throughout the past few months in liquidating his Bank of America stock. He got it down below the threshold where he doesn't have to report it, and he just did that last week. I can't stress to you enough how big of moves these are. This man that is notorious for buying the dip and jumping into other stocks has now liquidated so much that he's sitting on a record amount of cash, $325 billion in cash alone, which is unprecedented. They say this never happens. We just witnessed Jeff Bezos sell millions in Amazon. When you see this, to me, it's rather obvious the top's in. I've been telling everyone that watches the live shows, you better get out of your 401s. You better dive into your gold and your silver and be in a state where they're not going to tax it. That's a huge move right there. It's one of the last big moves and opportunities that people are going to have, is to ride gold and silver and the precious metals up as everything else comes down. This is it. When you signal the top, when they drop this information right before election, people are going to be scrambling on Monday. it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with the markets, but it's so heavily manipulated that they could do anything. I would just be prepared at this point. When the big dogs are dumping like this, it's a sure sign and a signal the rest of the market's going to follow. And they're not buying back in. I'm going to leave a link with some charts and more information. Make sure to check that out and join me on the live streams going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern to talk about this. Get ready, y'all. Buckle up. It's begun.
There you go. Like he said, it's begun. All right. But, you know, people don't want to listen. No, they don't want to listen. So let's go here. Let's see, billionaires dumping stocks. All right. Let's see. Despite the 6.5% stock market rally over the last 3 months, a handful of billionaires are quietly dumping their American stocks, and fast. Warren Buffett, who has been a cheerleader for U.S. stocks for quite some time, is dumping shares at an alarming rate. He recently complained of disappointing performance in dyed-in-the-wool American companies like Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, and Kraft Foods. In the latest filing for Buffett's holding company, Berkshire Hathaway, Buffett has been drastically reducing his exposure to stocks that depend on consumer purchasing habits. Berkshire sold roughly 19 million shares of Johnson & Johnson and reduced his overall stake in consumer product stocks by 21%. What does he know that a good many people don't? Berkshire Hathaway, as Dabu just told you, these people got inside info. All right. Berkshire Hathaway also sold its entire stake in California-based computer parts supplier Intel. With 70% of the U.S. economy dependent on consumer spending, Buffett's apparent lack of faith in these companies' future prospects is worrisome. Unfortunately, Buffett isn't alone. Fellow billionaire John Paulson, who made a fortune betting on the subprime mortgage meltdown, is clearing out of U.S. stocks too. During the second quarter of the year, Paulson's hedge fund, Paulson & Company, dumped 14 million shares of J.P. Morgan Chase. The fund also dumped its entire position in discount retailer Family Dollar and consumer goods maker Sara Lee. Finally, billionaire George Soros, who was the chief funder of BLM, recently sold nearly all of his bank stocks, including shares of J.P. Morgan Chase. I don't even know J.P. Morgan Chase, Citigroup, and Goldman Sachs. Wow. Between the three banks, Soros sold more than 1 million shares. So why are these billionaires dumping their shares of U.S. companies? After all, the stock market is still in the midst of its historic rally. Real estate prices have finally leveled off, and for the first time in 5 years are actually rising in many locations. And the unemployment rate seems to have stabilized. Again, all this is being manipulated. It's very likely that these professional investors are aware of specific research that points toward a massive market correction as much as 90%. Damn! Damn. One such person publishing this research is Robert Wiedemer, an esteemed economist and author of the New York Times best-selling book Aftershock. Before you dismiss the possibility of a 90% drop in the stock market as unrealistic, consider Wiedemer's credentials. In 2006, Wiedemer and a team of economists accurately predicted the collapse of the U.S. housing market, equity markets, and consumer spending that almost sank the United States. They published their research in the book America's Bubble Economy. The book quickly grabbed headlines for its accuracy in predicting what many thought would never happen, and quickly established Wiedemer as a trusted voice. A columnist at Dow Jones said the book was one of those rare finds that not only predicted the subprime credit meltdown well in advance, it offered Main Street investors a winning strategy that helped avoid the 40% losses that followed. And what happened? They were bailed out. Remember, too big to fail? a lot of the Negroes, their savior, Obama. All right. And finally, the former CFO of Goldman Sachs said Wiedemer's prescience in his first book lends credence to the new warnings. This book deserves our attention. In the interview for his latest blockbuster, Aftershock, Wiedemer says the 90% drop in the stock market is a worst-case scenario, and the host quickly challenged this claim. Wiedemer calmly laid out a clear explanation of why a large drop of some sort is a virtual certainty. So here's the thing, and chances are they're not going to tell you this, but we have been telling you this. You need to pay attention to what's happening with the BRICS nations. People are not jumping ship, all right, and going that way for no reason, all right. The dollar, the petrodollar, the U.S. dollar is shit. It really is, all right. And beside that, people are just tired of America and Israel's bullshit. Primarily America, because they're always siding with Israel. And they've done people so dirty over the however many decades. All right. And people are just ditching the dollar, and all this going to come back around. And who knows what China is going to do. China owns so much of the U.S.'s debt. This place is done. We've tried to tell you this is done. How many scriptures? Jeremiah 51 and 6, 7, 8. All right. This place is not going to be healed. There's no balm, all right, to heal this place. It's through. And also, this is being done in order to bring in a new monetary system. Digital. All right, because you got to understand, white supremacy at the end of everything is about control. The digital system will allow them to have way more control than you would otherwise with the currency that you have now. There's too much freedom in this. The digital system will allow them to know when and where you spend your money. And it's so easy to put restrictions on it and just, you don't do what they say, freeze your shit. Control what you buy, when you buy it. It's a whole nother level of slavery. But they're going to get people in one of two ways: convenience, security. All right. And you see all kinds of videos on YouTube. All you have to do is look it up. People want to get the MOTB, aka the C-HIP, because they're too lazy to do anything else, and not realizing they're setting themselves up to be easier prey. Hey, because these people out here with knowledge of computers and stuff, ain't nothing safe. It goes back to old school pencil and paper and shit like that. Man, they got people believing. Oh man. But anyway, and let's get some scriptures on that too, because at the base, the driving force of this, of course, is greed and power. And let's just go to Sirach 27 and 2. All right. Wait a minute. Oh, that's 33. How did I get 33? I know I pushed 27. There you go. And 2. There you go. Let's see. I'll start at the top. Many have sinned for a small matter, and he that seeketh for abundance, all right, will turn his eyes away. As a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stones, so doth sin stick close between buying and selling. Might as well read 3. Unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Most High, his house shall soon be overthrown. Who are we talking about here? We're talking about people, a nation that runs this world, that are the wicked, that have been rejected by the Most High. So why do they care? We can go into, in fact, let's do that real quick. Let's go into Job, 21st chapter. They don't care anything about the Lord. Job replies, the wicked do prosper. And we see this. You see how many, this man is these are multi-billionaires. All right. Multi-billionaires. All right. They don't want for anything. All right. They're, I'm trying to think of the scripture that talks about that. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but let's get this one. Job 21, let's see. Let's start at 7. Wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yea, almighty in power? Their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe from fear, neither is the rod of the Most High upon them. Because, why? The Most High is about chastisement, especially those that he loves, right? So these people have it backwards. They think that, well, because I'm doing so good, that I prospered so much. And, you can tell these churches follow that philosophy with that prosperity doctrine. And again, these churches have set our people up. But at the end of the day, Jake is, if he's in those churches, he belongs there. All right. Anyway, continuing on. Their bull gendereth and faileth not, their cow calveth and casteth not her calf. All right. They just, everything's going good. They just seem to be winning, as they like to say. They send forth their little ones like a flock, and their children dance. They take the timbrel and harp and rejoice at the sound of the organ. They spend their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to the grave. Yeah, they don't, and again, they just think they're in good case. Therefore they say unto the Most High, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. What is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit should we have if we pray unto him? Lo, their good is not in their hand. The counsel of the wicked is far from me. All right. So these people don't have I might as well get the other one because let's see. Here's Timothy 6. Let's start at 9. It says, but they that shall be, hold on. Yeah, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Now I'm gonna go back because I just remembered there was a comment in one of these, and that one there, even though they're saying JC, but you're right. Money won't save you. Yahweh Shai will. They're preparing for World War III. I'm 71, living day to day like my grandparents did, keeping it simple and believing in the Lord. All right. And they're spraying the skies immensely. Rats are leaving the ship. Why would they dump stock unless Kamala is fixed to win? Uh-oh. We told you about that possibility too. All right. Babylon is falling. Oh, yes, yes. Here it is. The love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. The love of the money. And that's what we're going into, talking about here. A few days ago, 12 military, this is 9 hours ago, a few days ago, 12 military choppers were at the White House. Looked nothing like a drill. I saw an osprey fly over. I even took a picture of it. Where was I at? Oh, Where the hell was I at? Oh yeah, coming home. For Jake to know where I live. I was like a block and a half away. Motherfucker flew over. It was another helicopter in front of it. I think it was well, I don't know, but anyway, I know that the Osprey, and I was like, this is way out of place. You know, if you don't know what an Osprey is, hey, look it up. But anyway, because that's a transport. It's like wow. So I get what this person here is thinking about. Talking about military choppers. All right. Here's the one I was looking at. I never thought I'd say this, but I thank the Most High that I was never rich. It made me resourceful and thankful. And that's something that another point we always try to stress, because the more you got, the more you got to lose. Simple as that. All right. A lot of people are going to be so tempted because of that, more easily tempted to take what's coming. And trust you me, it's coming. The prophecies say so. All right. 10. For the love of money is the root. Well, let me start 9 again. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. That's why it says up here, but godliness with contentment is great gain, not that prosperity bullshit. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. Like that saying they used to say, you never saw a Brinks truck, at a funeral. See, that's the same thing those ancient pharaohs thought, you know. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. That's why this is in here. All right. Let's go back to the Apocrypha. Let's see. I think it was. Is it Sirach? Let's see. Let's try 29. Let's see. Was it the top of 30? Maybe. No, 31. There it is. 31 and 1. This is what these people that we're reading about today. This is watching for riches consumeth the flesh. This is all they know. And the care thereof driveth away sleep. Watching care will not let a man slumber, as a sore disease breaketh sleep. I promise you, a lot of these people, they got ulcers or other gastric problems from worry, and who knows what else. High blood pressure, whatever. They're heavy drinkers, probably coke heads. You find a lot of that at Wall Street. You know, uh, the rich, verse 3, hath great labor in gathering riches together, and when he resteth, he is filled with his delicacies. The poor laboreth in his poor estate, and when he leaveth off, he is still needy. He that loveth gold shall not be justified. What does that line up with? Habakkuk 2nd chapter, right? And he that followeth corruption shall have enough thereof. Gold hath been the ruin of many, and their destruction was present. It is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it, and every fool shall be taken therewith. There you go. Fools. And that's what they are. And we go back to Job. All right. This is why in 20, all right, what do you say here? It says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reacheth unto the clouds, and these devils are all proud. Yet he shall perish forever like his own dung, which they which have seen him shall say, Where is he? All this is going to be for naught. These monuments that you built and all this wicked ass shit is going to be, we're going to make you tear it down, more than likely. That hasn't been blown away by all these nukes. He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. There you go. All right, let's go on down. Let's see. 15. He has swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. Now, vomiting is a violent act. Let's go into that. Let's see. He shall vomit them up again. All right. To spew. All right. That's a violent act. Anybody that's ever, well, you get it. All right. He shall suck the poison of asp, the viper's tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. See, all this we've been reading, and those that come before me in great millstone, trust you me. This is why people like Vocab Malone are set up, because these devils are looking for a way in, so they can slither their slimy, red, pasty asses up in here somehow, some way. But it's never going to happen. All right. Let's see. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. Not only are we talking about Isaiah's 60th chapter, but Revelation 18, Lamentations 4 verses 20 and 21. You're gonna do that hard time, and then you're gonna be exterminated. There's not going to be any more need for you. All right, so like it. Surely, okay, wait a minute. Because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he buildeth not. All right. Again, Habakkuk 2nd chapter. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. And he doesn't now. All right. The ones that trust me, we know that these elites, we know that they're listening to us. And also some of these preachers, because you can tell, and some others, because you can tell the way that, they're talking now. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. And that straits is talking about the difficulty. And he is, again, we're going to go. This is Strong's H3334, Yaitazar. Be narrow, be distressed. He's in distress. Again, looking for that way. Vexed. That's another good word. He is vexed. All right. But we're coming at him in a spiritual way. We're not coming at him like he wants us to, and that's being carnal. All right, because then we're in his realm, we're in his domain. When he is about to fill his belly, and that's what's coming up here, because he's going to think he's everything locked down and locked up. All right, yes, I've established my new world order, and that's when this is going to happen. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fear of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. If you picture these rich bastards like you used to see in these old, any kind of movie, whatever, congregated around the big table, got the fancy dinnerware and cutlery and all that, and all of a sudden doors get kicked in. That's how I always imagine that. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. So yeah, he's going to dig his, going to have his deep underground military bunkers, his domes, and he's going to have his his underwater uh, facilities up in Leo and space. Uh, but it's not gonna do him any good. And that's Amos ninth chapter. All right, first 2 or 3 verses. All right, so it doesn't matter where he's go. It doesn't matter at all where he goes or tries to. All right, it is drawn and cometh out of the body. What are we talking about here? Yeah, if you remember the missiles as they're coming out of the silo, that's just describing this right here. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall, terrors are upon him. All right. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. So all these references to what's coming with these nukes, this is why they were made. All right. So I said I would go back. Let's go to 15. This is Job 15 and let's see, 21. A dreadful sound is in his ears. In prosperity the destroyer shall come up on him. All right, you ever watch those wide receivers? They going to catch a pass, and you got the defense coming on trying to make that big hit. All right, and they hear them footsteps, or they going across the middle. Well, substitute that sound here for those footsteps. The dreadful sound is in his ears. All right, he believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waited for of the sword. All right. He wandereth abroad for bread, saying, where is it? He knoweth that the day of darkness is ready at his hand. And here's my point, 24. Trouble and anguish shall make him afraid. They shall prevail against him as a king ready to the battle. All right. For he stretcheth out his hand against God, the Most High, and strengtheneth himself against the Almighty. And this is the usual Edomitish behavior. Like I said, these elites, Esau in general, Edom in general, but all the elites are, what's that fancy word? Uh, I'll just say extra proud. There's a word I was trying to think of. Uh, they've come out and made statements the last few years about, these are the people that say they are the chosen. They tell on themselves almost every time they open their mouth, but our people, they still don't get it. The majority of our people are just like Jeremiah 4:22 says, they're sottish children, stupid. All right. Um, yeah, a lot of this is just right in their face, and it just still goes over their head. All right. But in any case, that's all I have for this. That's the gist. Let's see. I think it was something else I wanted to show you. See, I read that article. Let's see, there was something else. What was it? Let's see. What the heck? Do 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 do. Let's see. Something. Well, I guess that was it. But in any case, yeah, that's it. So with that, anyway, this has been a video, you know, about Dabu 7. His warnings, but it's nothing we haven't been telling you already. Um, these are very, very um, wicked times that we're coming into. And I just, remind everyone to be circumspect. All right, even more so now. All right. So with that, keep your ear, you know, ears open, eyes open. Because again, you're going to see a lot of people freaking out. So with that, once again, I'd like to ask, hopefully you've been edified. That's what we do here at Great Millstone as usual. Filter everything through the scriptures and remind you once again about the power of prayer and fasting. So with that, and keep remembering Hanukkah, Feast of Dedication, is coming up here next, what's the day, the 3rd? What's left of it? 13 days or so, something like that. So with that, hey, shalom.